So, welcome back. We're in trouble. The worst thing about enemies that we may face now is that they're going to cut off the most beautiful song in maybe the whole game. Arguably one of the most beautiful songs in the series, as we race off to go find Zelda. But first, just so I'm not blabbing, because I want to vibe to this music, and I think this music is a good backdrop song to talk about everything that just happened in the last episode. So in the last episode, we did the water temple, which is great. It's fine. Fine temple. Fun temple. Great boss at the end. And then, what came after that? I think that twist is this game in particular throws a lot of twists at you. Zelda games like their twists, I would say. Majora's Mask doesn't really, because it has a lot of micro stories. Ocarina of Time, the main twists in Ocarina of Time mainly have to do with, who the sages are, but that's pretty obvious from the beginning. The state of the world. The main twist in Ocarina of Time is just when Ganondorf takes over the world, right? That's the big twist, and then you age up 7 years. Wind Waker, I mean, the big twist of the fact that the Great Sea is actually a flooded Hyrule, and that all the islands you're going on are actually mountaintops. That's a great one. But I mean, Twilight Princess is a game filled with right turns. The Twilight Princess is a game that is constantly steering, is constantly making a hard right turn when you're fairly certain it's about to go left, right? And then yet still, at the halfway mark, at the standard, you got the first three things, and then something big happens that changes the scope of the game, that changes the direction of the game. It still hits you with that, and it still shocks you with exactly what the big twist in the middle of the game is, which is crazy because not only has the game, but it's crazy because the game has been doing twists with you. Everybody getting kidnapped at the beginning, that's not that, well, the degree to which it happens is crazy. Link turning into a wolf is crazy. Running into Midna is crazy. Running into Zelda so early and then immediately bailing on her is crazy. Finding the kids only for Colin to get kidnapped again. Having a showdown on the bridge is wild. Finding Ilya, but then she has amnesia. The game, finding Gorons, but they're hostile against you. Finding the Zors, but they're all frozen in ice. This game wants you to never know what's going to happen. And what all of those little tiny twists and turns along the way do is they leave you woefully unprepared. You think you're building a resistance to it, and then they do something shocking. They put Zant, the guy who you've been collecting all these things to stop, to use against him. They put him right at your foot. They put him right at your doorstep, right behind you when you exit the temple. What normally happens when you exit the temple? You go talk to the light spirit, and then they point you into the next direction, into the direction of the next place that you need to go to. You're about to do that. Link materializes, turns around, and then Zant shows you something. he shows you that you haven't accomplished anything. For as much as you've done, for as many people as you've helped, for as much Twilight as you've lifted, for as many creatures as you fought, you just finished having a fight against an absurdly large sea monster in the very depths of the earth, submerged in water, and he turns around and lets you know that it doesn't matter, and it never did. That you didn't stand a chance at the beginning of the game, and you still don't even stand a chance now. I think the fact that he, without even moving, without even the wave of a hand, even takes out Link, the light spirit. Because if you notice, Link's shocked. He's standing there, a little like shocked at Xant's sudden appearance. But then the light spirit comes up, and he's there to back Link up. And then Xant doesn't even move a muscle, and immediately changes the entire place back into Twilight, without even waving a hand. Subdues the light spirit, changes the whole place, corrupts it back to Twilight again. Takes out Link at the same time. I mean, with all the trouble you go through in order to lift the Twilight throughout the game up to this point, to have Xant show up and just his presence immediately shifts everything back into Twilight is haunting. It's horrifying. And then a beautiful thing happens. Xant comes for Midna. Link defends her. Xant goes for Link. Midna defends him. It's almost like instinctually. After everything, Midna says to herself, all the things that she's put us through, and what does Link do the moment she's in danger? He jumps in front of her because he's the guy who can't let a problem go. He can't ignore a problem when he sees one. Even after seeing what Xant was able to do to the light spirit, a being who is much stronger than Link is at this point, Link doesn't even flinch. Link is a wolf, and he immediately lunges for Xant, and then Xant shoves a dagger in his skull, which has sunk into his skull, by the way. We'll get to that later. Don't worry about that. So now we are cursed. We're in the light realm. Everything is not in Twilight, and we're still a wolf. We are a wolf, and we can't do anything about it. But the shocking nature of that scene extends out to so many different aspects, showing off Xant's sudden appearance, his seemingly insurmountable power that he wields, how quickly he dispatches our main characters, but then also it does something that no other Zelda game up to this point has done, and it has put our partner character not only in harm's way, but in fact, she is almost solely the direction. She almost solely receives all of his anger as he tosses her around the room. And then he holds her, and then he just tosses her around the room, holds her up to his face, and music creeps in that sounds very similar to the music that played when Lanayru talked to Link about power and what it can do to people. And right there, it kind of creeps in again as Xant tells her, Midna, I need you. If you come with me, we can both rule everything together. He's like, don't go to these people. These people shunned us. These people have oppressed us. I'm doing what's right. If you care about this world so much now suddenly, then it'll all be connected. We'll all live together under my and your rule. And then Midna being given an opportunity to wield power. To wield the power that she has been yearning for this whole time. She says no. And she chooses the world, and she chooses Link. She immediately goes right back to him. And so Zant tries to kill her, and almost succeeds. And he does that too in the blink of an eye. He seeps this area in Twilight once more, and then immediately changes it back just to try to kill Midna. It's crazy. And then not only does he do all that, but the things you've been collecting this whole time, he takes them from you. That's actually the first thing he does. This whole game up to this point, hours and hours of gameplay, we've been collecting the fused shadows. He stole all the pieces. He stole every piece and took it for himself. It is a sequence that never gets old, and it only gets better. I could play this game dozens of times, and that scene will always get to me. Because this game does something other Zelda games just don't. It puts your party, the game constantly puts other NPCs, Link's friends and family and partners and loved ones, into harm's way, which the other ones don't do, not to this extent. But then it goes so far as to you have to sit there and watch your partner character, the person who's been your traveling companion, who's been with you the entire game, who you have relied on, who has relied on you, get battered. Almost murdered. And now here you are, teleported away by the light spirit at the last second. The only thing saving both of you. And now, with things as dire as they are, you're stuck as a wolf. As powerless as you have ever been. Because every other time we've been a wolf, we've been able to rely on Midna. And now, as a wolf, Midna is completely relying on us. It's crazy. It's crazy that they did this. And then they play this beautiful song, which is just called Midna's Lament. Which, yeah, fitting, if any, as anything could be. But they do this, and I think what this scene always did, I think what this scene did for everybody, was that they did this. They shock you, and then all at once you realize, as you're sitting here in the rain with Midna on your back, pale and dying, you realize, oh wait a minute, I care about Midna. I mean, all at once, they punch you in the gut, and you realize, oh wait a minute, no, I don't want anything bad to happen to Midna. She's my partner. I need my partner. And for the first time in a Zelda game, they threaten to take that away from you, and I think it's crazy, and it's beautiful. I think this sequence is what makes this game, truly. But how do you get help when this is what you are? Just hate the rain. I can't get comfortable whether I sit or stand. Maybe my sixth sense is trying to tell me something. Haven't seen your face around here before. If you want to know about the town, you should talk to Louise, Telma's cat. Well, if you remember correctly, earlier, Telma dropped the note that her bar has a direct connection to Hyrule Castle. You look stern. With that look on your face, you'll frighten the humans. Lady, I'm gonna frighten the humans anyways. Did he say the meeting's going to be cancelled? You guys have a meeting? Your cats. We'll just have to force our way in. You there. You're Link, correct? Yes, I thought so. I could just tell, you know. I'm Louise. You remember meeting me at the shop before, though I don't think we were properly introduced. In any case, I must tell you, I'm a bit puzzled as to why you look like that. Really, dear, you can't blame the humans for tossing you out the way you look. Oh, another patient? You certainly are a curious sort. Link looks rattled, which he almost never does. But for Midna saying please, if you want to know how bad things are right now, Midna saying please. I want you to let that sink in for a moment. This way. Not even another word. Here, get into the window. The attic is connected to the castle's waterway. It's an old waterway though, so it could be a rough trip. I suppose that's all that's left to do is to make sure the humans don't notice you. Now I think it's just time to let this scene speak for itself. Well, Telma's back. So now she got a bouncer. Gohan does make a good bouncer, that's for sure. The elder told me to escort Telma, but the city air does not suit my skin. How's it come to this, huh? Monsters walking in the streets of town? What in the world are the soldiers of Hyrule doing? The Gohans are so much more reliable than they are. It's not even funny. You wanna not knock over pots? I heard that an acquaintance of Telma's defeated the beast that had been attacking tourists on the bridge. Yes, you remember that young man who came by here the other day? His name was Link. You don't mean the hero type. Unbelievable. So that getup wasn't just a costume. Well now, that isn't a bit of a shock. I was rather snotty to him, if I recall. Suppose I should apologize to him when I see him next. I'd hate for him to resort to fisticuffs or some such. I may look a little bit different. I wonder if Telma got a good look at our face. Oh, I forgot that this happened now. This is a building that we couldn't get to before. So yes, this is what the pose look like. They look pretty freaking intense. It's gotta be said. You got the Poe soul. Collect one from each Poe you defeat. Oh, thanks for beating the ghost. Can I call you Doggy? Midna sounds freaking bad. I'm Giovanni. I became consumed by greed long ago. Sold my soul to a dark creature that did this to me. I can't move. I can't go see my girlfriend. My pet cat, Jangle, is frozen on my head. I don't think I could be more miserable. I have to ask you a favor. Yeah, wait, how long have you been like this? 'Cause you've got some old-looking paintings, my dude. I have to ask you a favor, Doggy. Can you find and defeat the 20 ghosts that lurk in the dark for me? I think if you can free the pieces of my soul from the ghosts that hold them, I'll be free. Oh, but it's raining out now, so I don't think you can come outside directly. I'll open the door to the underground waterway for you. Yeah, so this is mandatory. You do have to get this quest. This is the third collection quest of the game, is the Poe Souls. Now, he says he needs 20 from you. There are 60. There are 60 in the game. And we are just now able to collect them, so sit on that one for a bit. Once the rain stops, you can come back in by digging around here, around the front wall where the cats gather. Understand, Augie? That treasure chest is connected to the underground waterway. You can get up there out there from here. Once you found defeated, lurk in the darkness. But Poes, you have to defeat as a wolf. Otherwise, you can't see them. Having to deal with more as a wolf than we ever have before. Feels like these were a little more dilapidated than maybe, It doesn't feel like the takeover of the castle dilapidated the waterways this poorly. Although, who's to say? So if there's any indicator that the castle truly is taken over, the fact that moblins are in here should tip you off. This should look familiar too. I guess it would be fitting that we'd be retreading some familiar areas with her as we try to save her life. I think another thing about Zant showing up, there was a point that I brought up in one of the other episodes that the fact that we have been endlessly pursued by enemies and moblins, and King Boblin, well, King Moblin himself. I think it's the fact that Zant shows up. I mean, that's sort of what sets this apart and increases the tension of this game, is the fact that we are clearly being tracked and we are clearly being pursued. Which is very different. Normally, we are on the offensive in Zelda games. In this one, though, it seems like everywhere we turn, somebody is waiting there in order to stop us. And the fact that Zant can just show up at any moment, he probably could have shown up before. Without even skipping a beat, she's like, how do we help him? The entire game up till now, she lets you know how you can help her, and how helping yourself will also help her. But then here at the end of it all for her, she's begging Zelda to help you any way she can. She's like, if you want to save your world, you need him. He's the one who needs to make it. So how do we break his curse? It changes some things, that's for sure. And it hits pretty hard. What binds him is a different magic than what transformed him when he first passed the curtain of Twilight. It is an evil power. Our world is one of balance. Just as there is light to drive away darkness, so too is there benevolence to banish evil. Head for the sacred grove that lies deep within the lands guarded by the spirit Farron. There you will find the blade of Evil's Bane that was crafted by the wisdom of the ancient sages, the Master Sword. The Master Sword is a sacred blade that evil can never touch. Evil cloaks you like a dark veil, and that blade is the only thing that can cleave it. Link, hero sent by the goddesses. Like you, I have been granted special powers by the goddesses. You can get to the woods on your own, right? No, I don't think I can. I have one last request. Midna, I believe I understand now just who and what you are. Despite your mortal injuries, you act in our stead. These dark times are the result of our deeds, yet it is you who have reaped the penalty. Zant said that she should rule beside him. So clearly she'd be in a position of power. Well, she was in some sort of position of power before. But also, he said that their people have been oppressed by us. And Midna did not seem too fond of this world and the people in it, and leaders like Zelda. Accept this now, Midna. I pass it to you. Midna, who once drew into question the validity of Zelda's rule, who once questioned Zelda as a leader, and questioned the sort of coddled, safe life that she had lived, or seemed to be living here in the castle, who scoffed at Zelda for putting the world in the position that it is in now. That very same Zelda then does this.
Did wrong. Dead bodies.
taken all that you had to give, though I did not want it. And so, things have gotten pretty bad. But Midna's not dead. Here's the thing, right? I don't think anybody would play this game and actually think, wait a minute, are they gonna kill Midna? They're not gonna kill Midna, right? That's like our partner character. They wouldn't do that. However, if there's anything that should be shaking you up as far as what this game will and won't do, the fact that we are still a wolf and that happened at the castle should be a pretty clear indicator to you that things are not going well. This game is kind of not screwing around. It is not. It goes pretty hard with the all is lost moments. All right, that's easy enough to say. I really like Midna's line. You gave me all you had, though I did not want it. Because here's the thing. What Midna has just received is the same thing Link received at the beginning of the game, which was the never-ending weight of responsibility. At the beginning of the game, Link was told that he was chosen. And because he was chosen, the fate of the world and all its people and all of their hopes and dreams now rested upon his shoulders. Now Midna, up till this point, had mainly been working for herself. She had her own responsibilities. As we can tell now, her own responsibilities to her own people. You know, I'm gonna be honest really quick. Being a wolf kind of slaps. Wolfling kind of does some crazy damage. We're super quick. Got this, like, our lunge attack is crazy. That just straight up one-shots people, which is nuts, no matter what. But yeah, Midna had her own responsibilities and hopes and dreams, and Zelda had her own responsibilities to her people. So I read what Midna meant when she said, though I did not want it. I would assume would mean that I did not want to be able to continue on my own quest if it meant you sacrificing yours, right? That's what Midna meant. But it also reads two ways. It reads as that, but then it also reads like I did not want this responsibility as well. Because now Midna is shouldering her own responsibility and Zelda's responsibility and hopes and dreams. Because Zelda, much like how Link was chosen by the goddesses, Midna has been chosen by Zelda to fulfill her part of this quest. And because of that, this is a game that is almost completely lacking Zelda. Oh wow, blue chew jelly. Okay, we'll have to remember this place. That's pretty nifty. This game is... The Princess Zelda is not the Twilight Princess, if that is not abundantly clear. She is not super prominent in this game. She's used very sparingly. I kind of like... And, you know, compared to the other games, I kind of like that they make Zelda, because coming off of the other games, you know who Zelda is. You know who Zelda is going into this game. It's called The Legend of Zelda. Again, a very telling note that the games are called The Legend of Zelda, not The Legend of Link. Because Link is very... Who Link is or was, and his role and everything, ultimately always seems to be pretty inconsequential in these games. Oh, I think it's actually staying daytime the whole way. Beautiful freaking game. I love how they did the lighting, the blue in the sky is just great. It's gorgeous. That I'm gaining anything from fighting all these guys. I'm just sort of like impressed with how much you can freaking spoof around these guys as a wolf. Also, like being able to run around as a wolf in the realm of light is pretty. Also, Midna too is also in the realm of light. I suppose the implication here is that Zelda gave up her form and her powers that allow her to stay within the light realm. She gave up her like form in order to allow Midna to traverse through the light without becoming a shadow, or without becoming a corporeal version of herself. Dang. Okay, these guys. Note to self: just use the homing dash. Hey man, you're not gonna be scared of me, right? Oh. My, it sure is rare to see wolves around these parts. You're a good boy now, aren't you? Good boy, don't hurt me. Oh. He's just like totally chill. I guess he lives in the woods. So like, why wouldn't he be super chill? Although he should be able to see Midna. The sight of Midna on this wolf should be like a little concerning, though, right? Well, we could go back to Orden Village. Hey, Bo, your daughter's safe. Not that I can tell you. Now that we're in the woods, we have to figure out where the Sacred Grove is. But also, I like how, in order to lift an evil curse that is on us right now. Also, Link being inflicted by evil. First off, Tears of the Kingdom vibes. I hope that's where Tears of the Kingdom goes. I hope Link has some freaking evil evil freaking dark magic within him that he gets to utilize in that game. Because that's essentially what we're doing in this game now. We're in our wolf form, but has been brought out, has been inflicted upon us now. It's not just a form that we take in order to walk through Twilight. We are now afflicted by it, which I think is interesting. Oh, second Poe. Yeah, we are on the hunt for Poes now. What do you have to say, Ben? Master Sword is deep within the Phantom Wars in the Sacred Gourd. Get that sword, let's undo the curses Zant put on you. Yeah, I like how, well, after the Master Sword, not to wield its power against our enemies, we're using it as a cure for our curse. I think that's really cool. I feel like that's a pretty cool idea. Hello, bird. Can I not? Oh, yeah, I can. Ah, it's rough having to watch a shop in this unpopular part of town. Yeah, dude, nobody's gonna come around here, dude. I remember you. Oh. That's new. Yeah, these guys are pretty freaking awful. Died in one hit, though. Did you save me? Thank you. Listen, since you're being so nice, let me tell you something. There's a really pretty wooded area on the other side of the cliff. You don't say. I climbed over there, but when I tried to get deeper into those woods, those guys attacked me. What's in those woods, anyway? That shows a pretty forest. You know, the one I found over there on the other side of the cliff? If you're going there, please be careful. You smell, it's so familiar. It smells a bit like a green-clad prince who helped me out once. A prince, you say? Sounds like a nice guy. Before we head over there, though. Yeah, I think it's cool that, like, we're using the Master Sword as a cure, which is a very different way which is a very different reason that we need to go get it than usual. I like how in this game it always feels like we're constantly trying to catch ourselves on our back foot. Like we're constantly having some new problem thrown at us, and then the characters in it are trying to like come up with a solution on the fly of like, okay, wait, so we can't go here now, so we need to go another direction. Okay, wait, this area is blocked off, so we need to go back and get something. It's like, oh, we need to help this guy in order to move on and get to the next temple. Like, oh, we need to save the prince in order to get the armor. In order to get to the next temple, it's like, oh, we need to get on the Goron's good side. That means we have to go back and figure out how to get them to respect us. And now it's like, oh, you're cursed now. It's like, well, because nobody had mentioned the Master Sword before. We were only focusing on the Fused Shadows, and that's a power for Midna to wield, presumably not Link. Although they did, to be fair, Light Spirit did warn us about the power. Did warn us specifically about the power. A power that Zant now has. Although, I think another interesting thing to know is that Zant specifically said that the power that he has been using, that he used to usurp whoever the leader of the Twilight people were, as well as the Kingdom of Hyrule to usurp Zelda as well. He said that power is something else. It's something bigger that came from a different place. That came from the King of Twilight, he said. It's a power that came from a different place. And it's much different and much stronger than their old magic, which is apparently what the few shadows are, as we saw depicted in the vision that Linnea gave us about the old magic used by the people of the Twilight. And now here we are. Two people who are shouldering everybody's hopes and dreams. Man, Midna calling out to Link to stop her, because Midna knew exactly what she was doing, what Zelda was doing. And for Zelda, it's funny, Zelda both gives up her power and her essence in order to restore Midna and allow her to exist in this realm, which makes Midna the only light being, one of the only being of Twilight to exist in this realm. Well, except for Zant, but Zant's working on some other kind of weird magic. And by doing so, Zelda has really like given up her place in the story, in the Zelda game. She's really has like given it to Midna entirely, really, which is interesting. It's a very interesting direction that you probably don't see coming. You think, oh, we're going back to Zelda? Maybe Zelda's going to be a bigger part, like she usually is. Not the case. It's just very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, separated this part into 2 different recording sessions just because it was getting late last time. I had done like the entire Water Temple and Midna's Lament section, and it was already like 10 o'clock when I started. So now I'm playing. It's late. It's like almost 11 o'clock, but I was thinking about the game, and I was just sort of in the mood. And honestly, that's when you should do a thing. You should try to do things specifically when you're in the mood for them. Don't do things because you feel like you have to or you're obligated to. And one thing that I feel like I've been pretty good at is making sure that I haven't been playing any of the games in this legacy run when I felt like I've had to. Maybe there was a spot or two in Majora's Mask, maybe Ocarina of Time, when I just knew that I hadn't played for a hot second, and I felt like I needed to make some progress. But I mean, I enjoyed them all the same because they're just enjoyable games, so that helps. I actually got myself 1 Po extra. So something that I keep forgetting that I really need to be better about, especially now that we're getting closer to having, now that we have the free range over this ability now, is teleporting. I can teleport, and I just haven't been. I didn't need to run all the way here. I did that just for the love of the game, I guess. Got me an extra Po got me a Po ahead of time, so to each their own with that. I mean, I'll take it. I don't know. I don't really mind. But yeah, you can teleport when you're a wolf. Anytime you're a wolf, you can teleport places. Anywhere that you've killed the Twilight beasts and created a portal in the sky, you can literally teleport. I'm pretty sure there's a portal like right around here that I could have teleported to. Just didn't do that. So, excuse me. So there's another section of forest beyond this cliff. Alright, Link, let's go. Yikes. This is what we're trying to do? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think it was really clever to reveal that, like, yeah, this giant, expansive, never-ending forest that the Faerun Woods looks like, it actually truly is, like, still expansive. There's a whole other section of forest right behind the places you've been to. Oh, okay, I was about to say, I was like, am I missing something, or is there something else we need to be doing? Okay, there's gonna be some things that we're gonna be grabbing up ahead in the next section. Most of it is lumped in at the end. Obviously, you see over there, there's a Howling Stone. So we will need to grab that. But there's also gonna be, the actual second pole cell. This will be our third, but the second one that's along the way, there's going to be a pole cell, a piece of heart, and one golden bug. We won't be able to get the second one till way later. So spoilers, we will be coming back here, but backtracking to area should not be a new thing. A new idea. These really are just Sheikah slates. I love that. Da, 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 da. Oh, I know that one. That's the Forest Temple song. Something of the Forest. I can't remember exactly what it was. This one is actually relevant to where we are. We are actually, obviously being in the forest, being right near the Forest Temple. The other songs didn't seem to pertain directly to where we were. Because what were they? They were the spirit. They were the spirit theme for the desert. Yeah, we definitely weren't anywhere near a desert, so that's for sure. Well, wait, anywhere that pertained to spirit as an idea? No, not really. And then what was it? The other song was it the Something of Shadow? No, it was the Spirit song, and then I'll look up and see what the order was for them. Whew, a little sloppy. Let teachings of old pass to you. Take sword in hand and find me. I wonder what he's gonna be. Ooh, all the way back near Hyrule again. Jeez. This guy likes Hyrule. I can't imagine why. What are these stopwatch symbols? Was it notifying us? Oh, is this like a symbol to let us know that those are places we can enter? Was it letting us know that like they're available at a certain time of day? Also, I don't know if you noticed this okay, I'm almost positive that this is I may have spouted some nonsense in the past. I'm not sure. I don't have complete memory over what details are or what things are like on the Wii U ports of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess compared to the GameCube ports, but I know for sure the original game did not have a POSOL counter per area. I'm almost positive. I feel like that's new. Yeah, I do not remember a POSOL counter. And Wind Waker had, if I remember correctly, well, good to know there's just no poles to look for in Warden Village. I'm pretty sure Wind Waker had some things that helped with collection quests and stuff as well that they added in there. Outside of just the traditional not blueprints. I'm still calling them blueprints. Sea charts. But yeah, I don't remember these clock symbols. I don't really remember the horseshoe symbols. I do remember the portal symbols, the purple. There was the wolf symbol. I do remember that. I don't know if it stayed on your map, but I'm like 99% sure that there was not a pole soul counter. But hey, I mean, that's nice if you want to 100% the game without a guide. You have a little bit more guidance as to how far off you are for each individual area. And of course, what would the deepest part of the woods be if not the Lost Woods? With an absolutely beautiful rendition of the Lost Woods. It's probably my favorite version of the song in the series. Now this is different. Well, this is just Zelda's theme. That one's easy to spot. Interesting. You don't howl specifically the original melody. You howl the like. Hey, bud. I was about to say, do you remember us? But he would not have met this Link. Oh, interesting. The way they rendered Skull Kid's eyes. It actually looks like the Majora's Mask eyes. I kind of like that. It's almost like... It kind of feels like... Oh, more of these puppets that we saved the monkey from. I do like how this place has a unique little battle song that kind of blends in with the music instead of cutting it off. It kind of feels like, whoa, speed up. Oh, you can hear him playing in the distance too when you get closer. I also love that his instrument that he uses, he's not using ocarina, he's using an instrument that looks and sounds like the Deku, the Deku horn that you get when you play your ocarina as a Deku scrub in Majora's Mask. Yeah, this game, as much as it is Ocarina of Time, it also is very much building off of Majora's Mask's legacy as well. It's funny because like this is less about. This part's not like Lost Woods, in which you are trying to like navigate the right path, or else you get lost. And have to start at the beginning. It's like less about that, and more so it's just like a hide and seek game. Oh. Oh. Interesting, he has a little lantern as well. Yeah, I mean, I suppose the implication, because what was Skull Kid? Well, there was more than one Skull Kid originally in Ocarina of Time, or whatever Skull Kid is, whatever creature you would call that. I don't remember what exactly it was implying Skull Kid was, or what they were. I don't know if they were like cursed Kokiri who got lost in the woods, although I would imagine, I thought the Kokiri were allowed to be in the woods. Oh, I see. But yeah, these places are vaguely familiar. But how many times do you defeat these things and keep coming back, Link? We ought to lay down a dark field of energy and beat them all at once. Not a bad idea. Although they will just keep coming back regardless. Look at his eyes. It's almost like a little bit of Majora. Like after wearing the mask for so long, being basically possessed by it. It's almost like it left an imprint on Skull Kid. I would imagine the idea is that this is the same Skull Kid. Also, I like the transition to stone hulls that were made by hand. Hey man, can we just talk about this? It's almost fitting that the last thing that would survive these, that would have survived in these woods after all this time would be Skull Kid of all things. No Kokiri, no Deku trees. But Skull Kid was always a little crafty, so he was a little mischief maker. Oh, I see. Gotta get him when he blows the horn. Makes sense, makes sense. Oh, the paint that he has on his left eye. Whoa, a lot of guys. Kind of looks like a gear. Bye. Well, I'm glad he had a good time at least. Feel kind of bad for taking a bite out of him, but he's harassing us. Yeah, and then the vibe changes too. The light becomes more real, I would say. It's interesting, these structures and stuff. It makes me wonder, because we're going for the Master Sword, right? Originally, the Master Sword was in the Temple of Time, which in Ocarina of Time was in, like, in Castletown. But we're going to a completely different place that is, like, torn down, dilapidated, has not been used in such a long time, which makes me wonder, like, maybe they moved Hyrule Castle? Maybe they moved eventually, rebuilt everything somewhere else. Let the Temple of Time sort of be taken by nature and get lost in the woods. I don't know. I'm not really sure how they reckon with that. But it is pretty fitting that you still have to use. Oh, you can hear the snail. Oh, this is strange. There's a what an interesting detail. There's a chest, but it's already open. Old chest. It's been opened. It's destroyed. This is surely the Temple of Time, right? Or was the Temple of Time, rather. Obviously, it's not going to look one for one. Zelda games are always a little loose with their... Yeah, there's snails in here, but we can't pick that up yet. We'll get it in a second. Yeah, Zelda games are always a little bit loose with their with the fact that they all come from the same timeline. But I think the implication is that Ocarina of Time is generations and generations and generations later, right? So surely, eventually, they moved Hyrule in the castle town. Obviously expanded it in a different location. In the center of Hyrule Field. And obviously, Twilight Princess, moving from Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess takes a lot of liberties. You know, it makes some adaptations to the land, to the scale of everything as well. However, the implication here is that the temple, maybe this isn't the Temple of Time from Ocarina of Time that we went to, that we know. This could have been a new temple that was eventually built at some point in the Lost Woods as a means of protecting the sacred realm and the Master Sword. Well, maybe specifically protecting the Master Sword. That could very well be it. Because, I mean, we got the Master Sword in Wind Waker. We got the Master Sword from the Tower of the Gods, which was a completely new creation. That must have been created by whomever, the goddesses or otherwise, somewhere much later down the line from the adult timeline. Yeah, you howl a duet melody to go with the songs, which is interesting. And now for a strange little minigame. We are guardians of this land. Guide us to where we once stood. Only then can you enter the true sacred grove. Oh, I immediately messed up. Okay. Yeah, so the way this works is They each go opposite of each other, and they mimic your movement. Oh, and here I thought I had already solved it. There is an exact combination of things that would work. I've done this on my own before, so which is why I would like to, you know, I'd like to figure it out. Surely I can manage it, right? Unless I freaking can't. It's entirely possible. Wait a minute, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. Yeah. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Did I do it? I did it. Who needs a map? I got this. That didn't take too long either. Hey, I'm kind of proud of myself for that one. It's a weird puzzle, but there's a logic to it. Go now to the sacred place, beast. We yield passage to the sacred grove. You know, Link's been getting called a beast for a lot this game. Man, they make some scary noises. Yeah, I mean, the Lost Woods is a great place to protect something you don't want anybody else touching, that's for sure. Also, I was wrong. The first song was Song of Healing. I was right that there was Requiem of Spirit, but that song that we played at the Howling Stone here in the Faron Woods, that's actually the Prelude of Light. Which I think I did used to always mix up with the forest theme. And there it is. The sword accepted you as its master. This thing is the embodiment of the evil magic that Zant cast on you. It's definitely different from our tribe's shadow magic. Yeah, it looks pretty unfamiliar in general. Careful. If you touch it, you'll turn back into a beast. This thing is too dangerous. It's probably for the best if we just leave it here, huh? But on the other hand, if we kept it, you'd be able to transform into a beast anytime you wanted. Yes. Since Zant was kind enough to give this to us, we should be thankful and use it all we can. Now, I'm fairly certain this is the first time in any of these games that we are going, one of the tools at our disposal is something that is evil. And I think that's sort of what makes this game unique, is that the characters, the Link and Midna, as our two leads in this, are unlike a lot of the other characters, which are very much go forth with you know, holy righteousness and try to use things that are, you know, wholly good in the world, and use the power of light, and use the power of the goddesses and the Triforce, and, you know, the Master Sword and such things. Link and Midna in this game are well, I mean, not only is I mean, Midna is a member of a tribe of magic wielders who were banished decades ago, a millennia ago. Link spends half the time as people say, a beast. He's been referred to as a beast while he was a wolf, and when he was not a wolf. People say he has a feral look in his eye. He has been shown to be quick to anger under the right circumstances. And it has been hinted that even he has the potential to fall under the spell of magic, of power, under the allure of power, and be tempted by it, even if it's slight. These two are not your typical leads for a Zelda game, and following that fact, they are willing to use any tools at their disposal in order to succeed. It does not matter to them what it is, as long as it can be used safely, they're going to use it. So now we're going to take a crystal made of dark magic, and we're going to use it as a tool to turn Link into, as everybody has noted, a beast at will. On top of using Midna's magic from her that caused her tribe to get banished to begin with. And we're going to openly use it. We're going to use these things in conjunction with the traditional Zelda tools that we always get, in conjunction with the power of the Triforce that we wield, in conjunction with Zelda's final blessing upon Midna, Zelda's like holy magic, basically, that was keeping Hyrule Castle safe. Which, by the way, yeah, if you don't remember, Hyrule Castle is now imprisoned in a shell of some kind of dark energy. in conjunction with the Master Sword. It's just, I think it's really cool. We have this sort of this yin yang thing going on with these characters. Both visually, you can just tell, like, looking at Midna and Link side by side, but then also just looking at their arsenal that they're gathering right now. It's cool. It's very interesting. Something I hadn't thought of originally. And when I played this as a kid, I just sort of was like, oh yeah, oh cool, we get to become a wolf. In my mind, I was just thinking about the gameplay, like potential of like, oh, now we get to be a wolf. But now older, I'm like, oh, we're using black magic basically. Some sort of evil like black magic that is something completely different even than what Midna's tribe uses. And we're just going to use that willy-nilly because we can. It's like, okay, cool, awesome, thanks, neat. I guess this is fine. If you need it, just call me. I want to keep a low profile, so I'll hide in your shadow when you're human. But I can change you whenever. Yeah, I like how that's her way of she's not gonna be like, hey, even though she can be in the world of light, she's not gonna be like sitting on your shoulder or on your head or something. Although I do like how she says, I'd like to keep a low profile. But then, when we're a wolf, she's like, oh yeah, I mean, you know, nobody would think that a wolf is fine. Why not just put a strange imp on its back? I'm sure nobody would find that more disconcerting, I suppose? I don't know. You can be a wolf anytime you like. Also, thanks to this thing, you can warp whenever you want by switching into wolf form. So I guess we need to be... Oh, you know what? That does make sense. I was wondering why we needed to be specifically wolf form in order to teleport or be teleported. But it makes sense because the portals... The Twilight Beast came from the portals, so clearly the portals are linked. The portals themselves are some sort of like Twilight wormhole sort of a deal. So it actually makes perfect sense that we would need to take a form that can traverse through Twilight in order to be teleported. That makes sense. Yeah, but what that also means now is that we can teleport whenever, wherever, whenever we want, which is great. Hey, but listen, Link. I've got a little favor to ask. Would you mind coming with me to find something called the Mirror of Twilight? It's hidden somewhere in Hyrule. Yes, the Mirror of Twilight, our last potential link to Zant. If only they had the means to just, like what modern games do, and just instantly transition. They did a match cut from cutscene to gameplay, but they didn't just go transition straight to gameplay. That's a very cute, that scene is on a very cute note. I do like how we have sort of fully... Dang, sorry, I was just getting, like, absorbed in this freaking leaf texture. It's really nice. I mean, not as nice up close, well, obviously. Don't cry with me. Jeez. Ooh. But no, I mean, like all the freaking shrubbery. We got some like lily pad looking things on the ground. Like how peaceful it is now too. Very nice. Oh yeah, by the way, yeah, we got the Master Sword. So now we can turn. No, we have the ability to transform into a wolf whenever we want. Which is arguably cooler than changing from a kid to an adult at will. You know, no offense, Ocarina of Time, but I think turning into a wolf and being able to teleport is pretty cool. No, but I like how Midna's character has sort of come fully around to us now. Well, Link and Midna's relationship has come fully around now. After the sort of things, after everything they've been through up to this point, and I think obviously because of the events leading up, the events right after the water temple. Uh, I think it's pretty clear that like it shook both of them up, but it also kind of lit a fire underneath them. And I like how Midna doesn't tell you why you need to, like, why what she needs to do is good for you. She doesn't demand you do it. She doesn't tell you that you have no choice to do it, or that you're indebted to her. You're not obligated by anybody, any higher force, to do the thing that she wants you to do. She just leans against your shoulder. She puts her arm on your shoulder and says, "Hey, Link, would you come with me?" Not even, "Can you do this for me?" or "Would you be willing to do this for me?" It's, "Can you come with me to do something for me? I want you to come with me. Like, I want us to still travel together." And of course, it's like, well, yeah, I mean, like, Link would still be after Zant, ultimately, right? Especially after Zelda's sacrifice and the condition of Hyrule Castle. We would still obviously be on the hunt for Zant. There's no doubt about that. But I think it's very telling that despite the fact that, of course, Link is still going to be pursuing Zant, which would mean traveling with Midna more, she still asks, just as a gesture, you know, just to make sure, like, hey, would you, even after all this, would you still walk this path with me? And I think that's very, very nice. And it's also very cute. She's all bashful and stuff. It's cute. These two. I like the smile on Link's face. He immediately smiles and nods, and she's like, "Yeah, okay." She kind of puts her arms behind her back and kicks the dirt a little bit, like, "Okay, all right, thanks." These two are good. These two feel more like a duo. I would say, I don't, that's not completely fair. I would say Link and the King of Red Lions feel like a duo, as well. But I think these two kind of, as far as like a Link and his partner goes, these two really feel like partners. Like direct partners that are helping each other in equal amounts. So they fill each other's gaps, you know, which I think is super cool. But hey, on that note, that is where we will actually be ending today. That was a lot of stuff to think about, to consider, to unpack, and now we have the classic next objective in any Zelda game, which is to find some other random thing that we didn't think about or didn't know about till just right now. Next episode, though, is looking like, because of everything that we have just received, next episode is going to be just a whole grip of things to collect. Starting with some last final things to finish collecting here. And then, holy crud. Wait, are you serious? Oh, good heavens. The next part of the guide is called the Great Po Soul Collection. We're gonna be collecting almost 30 Pole Souls. That's what we're doing next time. Apparently that's what we've unlocked because now we can hunt Poes down because we can turn into a wolf. You have to be able to see them as a wolf to collect them, so now we can go collect 1,000,000 Poe Souls. I know you heard me say 30, but I actually meant 1,000,000 Poe Souls. That's the name of the next episode. The name of the next episode is 1,000,000 Poe Souls. My soul is about to leave my own body in a second. Jeepers.